The world has gone quiet. Shadows stretch across the walls. Let your thoughts grow soft. A story waits in the stillness. If it brings you peace, like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a night. Now let the story find you. You stand at the edge of a narrow wooden bridge, its planks weathered by time and the damp air of the Japanese countryside. The night is heavy, the kind of quiet that feels alive, like the world is holding its breath. A soft mist curls around your feet, rising from the river below, its surface black and still, reflecting the faint glow of a crescent moon. The air smells of wet earth and something sweeter, like jasmine, though no flowers bloom here. You've heard the stories. Everyone in the village has. They say she waits here on this bridge, her silhouette a whisper against the dark. But you're not sure you believe in ghosts. Not yet. Your footsteps creak as you take your first step onto the bridge. It sways slightly, the ropes groaning under your weight. You pause, your heart giving a little kick, but there's no turning back now. You've come this far, driven by curiosity, or maybe something deeper, something you can't name. The village elders spoke of her in hushed tones, their eyes darting to the shadows as they described a woman named Hana, betrayed long ago, her heart broken on this very bridge. They say she lingers, waiting for someone to hear her story. You're not sure what you're looking for, but the pull of the unknown is strong tonight. The mist thickens as you walk, and the air grows cooler, brushing against your skin like a sigh. You can barely see the other side of the bridge, where the path disappears into a grove of cedar trees. Their branches sway, though there's no wind. You tell yourself it's just your imagination, but the hairs on your arms stand up. You take another step, and then you hear it. A soft hum, low and melodic, like a lullaby carried on the breeze. It's faint, but it's there, weaving through the silence. Your breath catches. You strain your ears, trying to pinpoint the sound, but it seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. You stop in the middle of the bridge, your hands gripping the ropes. The humming grows clearer, forming words you can't quite understand, sung in a language that feels both familiar and strange. It's beautiful, haunting, and it tugs at something deep inside you, like a memory you didn't know you had. You look around, but there's nothing, just the mist and the dark water below. You call out, your voice small in the vast night. Hello? Is anyone there? The humming stops abruptly, and the silence that follows is heavier than before. Your pulse quickens. You feel watched, not with malice, but with a quiet intensity, like someone is studying you, deciding whether you're worthy. You take another step, and the bridge creaks louder, almost like a warning. You glance down, and for a moment you think you see something in the water, a flicker of white, like a face staring back. You blink, and it's gone, just ripples spreading across the surface. Your mind is playing tricks, you tell yourself, but your feet feel rooted to the spot. You want to move, to run, but something holds you here, a pull you can't explain. The air shifts, and the jasmine scent grows stronger, almost overwhelming. You close your eyes, trying to steady your breathing, and when you open them, you see her. She's standing at the far end of the bridge, her figure barely more than a shadow, draped in a pale kimono that glows faintly in the moonlight. Her hair is long, black as the river, spilling over her shoulders. You can't see her face, not yet, but you know it's her. Hana. The name echoes in your mind, unbidden. She doesn't move, doesn't speak, but you feel her presence like a weight, soft but undeniable. Your heart pounds, not from fear, but from something else, a mix of awe and sorrow. You take a step toward her and the bridge sways again, as if urging you to decide to stay or to go. You call out to her, your voice trembling. Hana? Her head tilts slightly, like she's listening, but she doesn't answer. The mist swirls around her, and for a moment you think she might vanish. But she stays, her silhouette unwavering, as if she's been waiting for you all this time. You take another step and the humming starts again, softer now, almost a whisper. It's her voice, you're sure of it, and it feels like an invitation, a plea to come closer. You want to know her story, to understand why she's here, why she waits. But the bridge feels longer now, the distance between you stretching endlessly. You pause, your hand on the rope, and you feel a warmth like someone's hand brushing against yours, though no one is there. The sensation is fleeting, but it sends a shiver through you, not cold, but electric, like a spark of connection. You look at her, and she lifts her head slightly, her face still hidden in shadow. The moonlight catches the edge of her kimono, and you see a faint pattern of cherry blossoms woven into the fabric. It's beautiful, delicate, and it makes her seem more real, more human. You want to speak, to ask her why she's here, but words stick in your throat. The night presses in, and the mist curls tighter around you, like it's trying to pull you into her world. You take one more step, and the humming grows louder, filling your chest with its melody. You're close now, closer than you thought possible, and you could almost see her eyes, dark and endless, like the river below. She's waiting not just for anyone, but for you. And as you stand there on the bridge where she waits, you realize you're not just a visitor in her story. You're part of it. You're standing on the bridge, the air thick with mist and the faint scent of jasmine. Hana's silhouette lingers at the far end, her pale kimono catching the moonlight like a soft flame. Your heart beats steadily now, curiosity outweighing the unease that first gripped you. You take another step, the wooden planks creaking beneath your feet, and the distance between you and her seems to shrink, though the bridge feels impossibly long. Her presence is a quiet pull, like a tide drawing you closer, and you can't resist it. You don't want to. The humming has stopped, but the silence isn't empty. It's alive with whispers of the night, the gentle lap of the river below, the rustle of cedar branches in the distance. You feel her watching you, though her face remains hidden in shadow. You call her name again, softer this time, almost a question. Hana? The air stirs, and for a moment you think you hear a sigh, faint and fleeting, like a breath carried on the wind. You squint, trying to make out her features, but the mist swirls thicker, veiling her just out of reach. You move forward, one careful step at a time, the ropes of the bridge steadying you. The warmth you felt before, that fleeting touch on your hand, lingers in your mind. It wasn't your imagination, you're sure of it now. You glance at the ropes, half expecting to see something, a trace of her, but there's only the worn fibers under your fingers. You look up and she's closer now, though you didn't see her move. Her kimono shimmers the cherry blossom pattern, catching the light, and you notice her hands, delicate and pale, clasped in front of her. They tremble slightly, as if holding something fragile. You stop, your breath catching. You want to ask her why she's here, what keeps her on this bridge, but the words feel heavy, like they might break the moment. Instead, you listen. The river murmurs below, and you swear it carries her voice, not in words but in feeling, a wave of sorrow so deep it makes your chest ache. You close your eyes, letting it wash over you, and images flicker in your mind, unbidden. A man's face, sharp and handsome, his eyes warm but guarded. A promise made under moonlight. A letter, crumpled and tear-stained, left on this very bridge. You open your eyes, startled, and she's still there, watching you. You take another step, and the mist parts slightly, revealing more of her. Her hair falls in soft waves, framing a face that's both beautiful and heartbreaking. Her eyes, dark and endless, meet yours, and you feel a jolt, like you've known her forever. You try to speak, but your voice falters. Instead, you feel. A question form in your mind as if she's placed it there. Will you listen? You nod, not sure why, but certain it's what she needs. The air grows warmer, and the jasmine scent wraps around you, comforting, urging you to stay. You're halfway across the bridge now, and the world feels different, softer, like you've stepped into a dream. The cedar trees on the far bank sway, gently, their branches whispering secrets. You glance back and the village is gone, swallowed by the mist. There's only the bridge, the river, and her. You feel a pull to keep moving, to reach her, but something holds you back, a flicker of doubt. What if her story is more than you can bear? You shake the thought away, focusing on her eyes, which seem to hold 1,000 unspoken words. You take another step, and she moves just slightly, her kimono rustling like leaves. She raises one hand, not toward you, but toward the river. You follow her gaze, and the water ripples, forming shapes that shouldn't be possible. You see a village, not the one you know, but older, with lanterns glowing along narrow streets. You see her, Hana, laughing, her face bright with joy, her hand in the hand of the man from your vision. The image shifts and her laughter fades, replaced by tears, her figure alone on this bridge, clutching that crumpled letter. The water stills, and the vision fades, leaving you breathless. You look at her and she's closer now, so close you can see the delicate curve of her lips, the faint tremble in her jaw. You want to reach out to comfort her, but your hands stay at your sides. You feel her sorrow, not as a story, but as something alive, wrapping around you like the mist. You whisper her name again, and this time she responds, not with words, but with a look that pierces through you. It's a plea, a question, a hope. You don't know what she wants, not yet, but you know you can't leave her here, not like. This dot, the bridge sways gently, and you feel the world tilting, like you're standing on the edge of something vast. You take one more step and the mist swirls around you both, binding you to her, to this moment. Her eyes never leave yours, and you feel a spark of something new, a connection that goes beyond the bridge, beyond the night. You're not just a stranger passing through. You're here for her, and she's here for you. The jasmine scent lingers, and you know, deep down, that her story is only beginning to unfold. You're closer to her now, so close you can see the faint shimmer of tears in Hana's eyes, though they never fall. The bridge creaks beneath you, the sound blending with the gentle rush of the river below. The mist has thickened, wrapping you and her in a cocoon of soft white, muffling the world beyond. The jasmine scent lingers, sweet and heavy, pulling you deeper into her presence. You feel her story pressing against you, not in words, but in fragments of emotion, like pieces of a dream you're only beginning to understand. Your heart beats steadily, but there's a weight in your chest, a mix of her sorrow and your own curiosity. You take another step, and the planks groan, as if urging you to be careful. Hana's gaze holds you, her eyes dark pools that seem to see through you, into you. You want to speak, to ask her what happened, but your voice feels distant, like it belongs to someone else. Instead, you listen, letting the silence speak. The air shifts, and you feel that warmth again, a gentle brush against your hand, like her touch, though her hands remain clasped in front of her. You glance down, half expecting to see her fingers intertwine with yours, but there's nothing, just the ropes of the bridge, worn and cool under your skin. You look back at her, and she's turned slightly, her profile sharp against the moonlight. Her kimono glows faintly, the cherry blossom pattern almost alive, petals seeming to drift in the fabric. You notice a small pendant hanging from her waist, a carved jade flower, glinting softly. It feels important, like a clue to her story, but you don't know why. You take a breath, steadying yourself, and ask, "Who were you waiting for?" Your voice is soft, barely above a whisper, but it carries across the bridge. She doesn't answer, not directly, but her lips part, and you hear that hum again, low and mournful, weaving through the mist. The sound wraps around you, and with it comes another vision, clearer this time. You see the bridge, not as it is now, but vibrant, strung with lanterns that glow like fireflies. Hana stands at its center, her kimono bright, her face radiant with hope. The man from before is there, his hand brushing hers, his smile warm, but shadowed with something you can't name. They speak in low tones, their words lost to you, but you feel the weight of their promises, the kind that bind two souls. The vision shifts, and he's gone, leaving her alone, her hands clutching that jade pendant as the lanterns dim. The bridge fades back to the present, and you're left with the ache of her loneliness. You blink, and Hana's closer now, though. You didn't see her move. Her eyes meet yours, and you feel a pull, like she's drawing you into her world. You want to reach out, to touch her, to tell her she's not alone, but something stops you. The air grows heavier, and the mist swirls, forming shapes that flicker at the edge of your vision. You see the village again, its streets alive with people, their faces blurred, but their voices sharp, whispering about her, about betrayal, about a love that burned too brightly. You shake your head, trying to focus, but the whispers linger, filling you with a strange mix of pity and unease. You take another step, and the bridge sways, the ropes trembling under your hands. Hana turns fully toward you now, and you see her face clearly for the first time. She's young, no older than you, her features delicate but etched with a sorrow that makes her seem timeless. Her lips move, as if to speak, but no sound comes. Instead, you feel her words in your mind, soft and clear. He promised to return. You don't know who he is, but the weight of those words settles over you, heavy with longing. You want to ask more, but the mist thickens, and her figure blurs slightly, like she's slipping away. You call out to her, "Hana, don't go." Your voice is louder now, desperate, and the mist parts just enough to keep her in sight. She raises, her hand again pointing to the river, and you follow her gaze. The water ripples, and you see the man again, standing on the far bank, his back to her. He's leaving, his figure fading into the trees, and Hana's there, on the bridge, her hands outstretched, her voice breaking as she calls his name. The vision fades, and you're back in the present, your breath uneven, your hands gripping the ropes so tightly they ache. You look at her, and she's watching you, her eyes bleeding. You feel a surge of determination, a need to understand, to help her. You take one more step, and the bridge feels different now, like it's not just a path, but a threshold, a place where the living and the lost meet. The jasmine scent is overwhelming, and the mist curls around you, warm and soft, like an embrace. You're so close to her now, close enough to see the faint tremble in her hands, the way her pendant sways as she breathes. You know her story isn't finished, and you know you're meant to hear it, to carry it forward. The night deepens, and the world feels smaller, just you, Hana, and the bridge. You feel her presence like a heartbeat, steady and urgent, and you know you can't turn back. Not now. Not when she's so close, when her story is so near to unfolding. You take a final step, and the mist swirls, binding you to her, to this moment, to the bridge where she waits. You're so close to Hana now, the mist swirling around you like a living thing, warm and heavy with the scent of jasmine. The bridge creaks softly under your feet, its ropes taut in your hands, grounding you as the world blurs at the edges. Her eyes hold yours, dark and deep, filled with a sorrow that feels like it could swallow you whole. Yet there's something else there, a flicker of hope, like she's waiting for you to understand, to see her fully. The river below hums with its own quiet rhythm, and you feel caught between two worlds, hers and yours, tethered by this fragile bridge. You take a breath, steady yourself, and her presence grows stronger, as if your nearness gives her form. Her kimono shimmers, the cherry blossom pattern catching the moonlight, and the jade pendant at her waist glints, drawing your eye. You want to ask about it, about the man in the visions, about the promise he broke, but the words feel too heavy, like they might shatter the moment. Instead, you stand there, letting her story seep into you, piece by piece. The mist curls tighter, and you feel that warmth again, a fleeting touch on your cheek, soft as a whisper. You don't flinch this time. You lean into it, dot her lips part, and though no sound comes, you hear her voice in your mind, clear and aching. He said forever. You see the vision again, unbidden, sharper now. The bridge is alive with lanterns, their glow painting Hana's face in warm hues. The man, his name still unknown, stands beside her, his hand brushing hers as he speaks words you can't hear. His eyes are bright, but there's a shadow in them, a hesitation that makes your stomach twist. You see her smile, radiant and trusting, as she hands him the jade pendant, her fingers lingering on his. The vision shifts, and she's alone, the lantern's gone, her hands empty, her face crumpling as she stares into the dark. You blink and the present returns, Hana's eyes locked on yours. You feel her pain like it's your own, a sharp ache in your chest that makes you want to reach out, to hold her, to promise you'll stay. You take a step closer, and the bridge sways, the ropes trembling under your grip. The mist parts slightly, and you see her face more clearly, her features delicate but worn, like a painting left too long in the rain. You notice a tear, not falling, but caught in the corner of her eye, glinting like a star. You want to wipe it away, but your hands stay still, heavy with the weight of her story. You whisper, "What happened to him?" Your voice is soft, almost lost in the night, but she hears you. Her head tilts and the mist swirls, forming shapes in the air. You see the village again, its streets bustling with people, their faces clearer now. You see the man, his name still, a mystery, walking away from the bridge, his shoulders hunched, the jade pendant tucked into his sleeve. You see whispers spreading through the crowd, eyes narrowing, fingers pointing. A betrayal, they murmur, though you don't know whose. The vision fades, and Hana's gaze grows sharper, as if she's asking you to see what she can't say. You take another step, and the bridge feels unsteady, like it's testing you. The river below ripples, and you catch a glimpse of something, a reflection of Hana, not as she is now, but as she was, laughing, her hair adorned with flowers, her hands holding a letter sealed with red wax. The image shifts, and the letter is torn, scattered across the water, its words lost forever. You feel a pang, not just for her, but for yourself, as if you've lost something too. You look at her, and she's closer now, so close you can see the faint lines of her kimono, the way it clings to her like a second skin. You want to ask more, to know why she stays, why she waits, but the mist thickens, and her figure blurs slightly, like she's slipping into the night. You call out, "Hana, please tell me." Your voice is desperate now, and the mist parts just enough to keep her in sight. She raises her hand, not to the river this time, but to you, her fingers trembling, as if reaching for something she can't touch. You feel a pull, deep and urgent, like she's trying to draw you into her world, to make you part of her story. You want to go, to follow her, but a flicker of doubt holds you back. What if you get lost here, on this bridge, with her? The air grows warmer, and the jasmine scent wraps around you, soothing, urging you to stay. You take one more step, and the bridge feels different, like it's not just wood and rope, but something alive, pulsing with her memories. Her eyes never leave yours, and you feel a connection, fragile but real, like a thread stretching across time. You know she's waiting, not just for him, but for you, for someone to hear her, to carry her story forward. The mist swirls, and you feel the weight of her gaze, her hope, her sorrow, binding you to this moment, to the bridge where she waits. You stand frozen on the bridge, Hana's outstretched hand hovering just out of reach, her fingers trembling. In the misty air, the jasmine scent clings to you, heavy and sweet, like a memory you can't shake. Her eyes, dark and endless, hold yours with a quiet intensity, as if she's willing you to understand, to step fully into her world. The bridge sways gently, its creaks blending with the soft rush of the river below, and you feel the weight of her story pressing against you, urging you to listen. Your heart beats faster now, not from fear, but from a longing to know her, to unravel the threads of her pain. You take a tentative step closer, the planks groaning under your weight. The mist swirls, parting just enough to reveal her face, pale and delicate, her lips parted as if on the verge of speaking. The jade pendant at her waist catches the moonlight, its carved flower glinting like a beacon. You feel drawn to it, like it holds the key to her story, but you don't ask. Not yet. Instead, you whisper, "Why do you stay here?" Your voice is soft, almost swallowed by the night, but it reaches her. Her head tilts slightly, and you feel her answer before you hear it. A wave of sorrow that washes over you, heavy and cold. The mist thickens, and another vision forms, clearer than the others. You see Hana on this bridge, her kimono vibrant, her hair adorned with a single white flower. She's waiting, her eyes bright with hope, clutching a letter sealed with red wax. The man appears, his face sharp and familiar, his smile warm, but strained. You see them together, their hands brushing, their laughter mingling with the sound of the river. But then his expression changes, his eyes clouding with something like guilt. He steps back, shaking his head, and her face crumples, the letter falling from her hands into the water below. The vision fades, leaving you with a hollow ache, as if you've lost something precious too. You blink, and Hannah's closer now, her presence so real you can almost feel the warmth of her breath. Her eyes search yours, and you feel her voice. In your mind, soft and pleading, "He left me here." You see it again, a flicker in the river, the letter sinking, its words dissolving into the dark. You want to reach out, to tell her you're sorry, but your hands stay at your sides, heavy with the weight of her grief. The bridge feels smaller now, like it's closing in, binding you to her, to this moment. You take another step, and the ropes tremble, as if the bridge itself is alive, pulsing with her memories. You look at her, and she's so close you can see the faint lines of her kimono, the way the cherry blossoms seem to bloom and fade with each breath she takes. You notice a tear caught in her lashes, glinting like a star. You want to wipe it away, to ease her pain, but something stops you, a whisper of caution in your mind. The mist swirls, and you see the village again, its streets alive with shadows, people whispering about her, about him, about a love that was never meant to last. You hear their words, cruel and sharp, calling her foolish, calling him a liar. The vision shifts, and you see Hana alone, standing on this bridge, her hands clutching the ropes as she stares into the night. You shake your head, trying to clear the images, but they linger, blending with the present. You ask, who was he? Your voice is stronger now, desperate for answers. Hana's gaze softens, and she raises her hand again, pointing to the river. The water ripples, and you see him, the man walking away from the bridge, his figure fading into the cedar trees. You see the jade pendant in his hand, glinting as he tucks it away, his face twisted with something like regret. The image fades, and you're back with Hana, her eyes pleading, as if she's asking you to find him, to understand why he left. You take one more step, and the bridge sways, the mist curling around you like a warm embrace. You feel her story, wrapping around you, not just in visions, but in the air, in the scent of jasmine, in the creak of the planks. You're so close to her now, close enough to see the faint tremble in her lips, the way her hands clutch the pendant as if it's all she has left. You want to promise her something, anything, but the words won't come. Instead, you feel a connection, fragile but real, like a thread stretching across time. You know she's waiting for you to see her, to hear her, to carry her story forward. Night deepens, and the world feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for you to decide. You look at her, and her eyes are a mirror, reflecting your own longing, your own questions. The bridge feels like a threshold, a place where the past and present meet, and you know you're not just a passerby. You're part of her story now, bound to the bridge where she waits. You're standing so close to Hana now, the mist weaving around you both thick and warm, like a veil separating you from the rest of the world. The bridge creaks softly, its ropes taut under your hands, anchoring you to this moment. Her eyes, deep and shimmering with unshed tears, hold yours with a quiet urgency, as if she's pleading for you to stay, to understand. The jasmine scent is stronger now, wrapping around you like a memory, and the river below hums with a rhythm that feels like her heartbeat. You feel her story pressing against you, not just in visions, but in the air, in the way her presence fills the space between you. You take a breath, your chest tight with the weight of her sorrow. A jade pendant at her waist glints in the moonlight, drawing your eye, and you feel a pull, like it's more than just a trinket. You want to ask about it, about the man who left her, but your voice feels distant, as if the mist has stolen it. Instead, you whisper, "What do you need me to do?" Man. Words are soft, barely audible, but they reach her. Her head tilts, and you feel her answer in your mind, a gentle wave of longing. Find him. The mist swirls, and another vision forms, vivid and sharp. You see the bridge, bathed in the glow of lanterns. Hana standing at its center, her kimono bright, her hands clutching the jade pendant. The man is there, his face clearer now, his eyes warm but shadowed with doubt. He takes the pendant from her, his fingers lingering on hers, and you feel the weight of their promise, heavy with hope and fear. The vision shifts, and you see him walking away, the pendant tucked into his sleeve, his steps heavy, as if he's carrying a burden he can't name. You see Hana alone on the bridge, her hands empty, her face etched with betrayal as she watches him disappear into the cedar trees. You blink, and the present returns, Hana's eyes locked on yours. You feel her pain like a current pulling you under, and you want to reach out, to tell her you'll help, but your hands stay still, gripping the ropes. The bridge sways, and the mist thickens, forming shapes that flicker at the edge of your vision. You see the village, its streets alive with whispers, people pointing at Hana, their voices sharp with judgment. You hear fragments of their words, love, fool, gone, and you feel a surge of anger, not just for her, but for the way the world turned its back on her. You take another step, and the bridge feels unsteady, like it's warning you to be careful. Hana's closer now, so close you can see the delicate curve of her cheek, the way her hair falls like a curtain over her shoulders. Her lips part, and you hear her voice in your mind again, soft but clear. "He took my heart." You see the pendant. In the vision again, glinting in his hand as he walks away, and you understand now it's more than a gift. It's a piece of her, a symbol of the love she gave, the love he broke. You want to ask his name, to know who he was, but the mist swirls, and her figure blurs slightly, like she's slipping away. You call out, "Hana, I'll find him." Your voice is stronger now, filled with a determination you didn't know you had. The mist parts, and she's there, her eyes softening, a flicker of hope breaking through the sorrow. She raises her hand, not to the river this time, but to you, her fingers trembling, as if she's trying to touch you across the divide of time. You feel a warmth like her hand brushing yours, and it sends a shiver through you, not cold, but alive like a spark. of connection. You want to hold on to it to keep her here, but the bridge sways and the mist curls tighter, pulling you deeper into her world. The river ripples below, and you see another glimpse, not of Hana, but of the man standing in a garden, the jade pendant in his hand. He's older now, his face lined with regret, his eyes searching the horizon, as if looking for her. The image fades, and you're back with Hana, her gaze pleading, as if she's asking you to follow the trail he left, to find the truth she can't reach. You take one more step, and the bridge feels different, like it's not just a path, but a bridge between worlds, hers and yours, past and present. The jasmine scent wraps around you, soothing, urging you to keep going. You're so close to her. Now, close enough to see the faint tremble in her lips, the way her hands clutch the pendant, as if it's her last tie to him. You feel her story in your bones, a mix of love and loss that makes you want to cry, to scream, to promise you'll make it right. The night deepens, and the world feels small. Just you, Hana, and the bridge. You know you're not just a visitor anymore. You're part of her story, bound to her by the promise you made, by the bridge where she waits. You're standing at the heart of the bridge now, the mist so thick it feels like a world of its own, wrapping you and Hana in a soft, warm veil. The jasmine scent is overwhelming, sweet and heavy, like a promise lingering in the air. Her eyes, deep and endless, hold yours with a quiet trust, as if she knows you've carried her story this far, and now you're on the edge of something final, something true. The bridge creaks beneath you, its ropes steady under your hands, but the world feels unsteady, like you're teetering between her time and yours. The river below hums, its rhythm blending with your heartbeat, urging you to take the last step, to see her story through. You look at her so close now you can see the delicate lines of her face, the way her kimono shimmers with cherry blossoms that seem to bloom and fade with each breath. The jade pendant at her waist glints, a beacon in the moonlight, and you feel its weight, not just as an object, but as a piece of her heart, given and lost. You whisper, "I've seen him, Hana. I'll find the truth." Your voice is soft but certain, and her gaze softens, a tear finally falling, glinting like a star as it traces her cheek. You feel a warmth like her hand brushing yours, and this time you reach out, your fingers trembling, but the mist holds her just out of reach. The air shifts, and a vision forms, clearer and sharper than any before. You see the man, his name, still a mystery, standing in a garden bathed in twilight. The jade pendant rests in his palm, its carved flower worn from years of touch. His face is older, lined with regret, his eyes searching the horizon, as if he could still see her, still feel her. You see flashes of his life, moments that weigh heavy, a marriage arranged by duty, a life bound by expectations, a love he couldn't keep. You see him return to the bridge years later, his steps slow, his hands clutching the pendant as he whispers her name, Hana, his voice breaking with sorrow. The vision fades, and you understand now he never stopped loving her, but he couldn't stay. You blink and Hana's there, her eyes locked on yours, filled with a mix of pain and hope. You feel her voice in your mind, soft and clear. He kept me with him. You see the pendant again, in his hands, in his heart, a piece of her he never let go. You want to tell her to ease her pain, but the words catch in your throat. Instead, You take a step closer, the bridge swaying, the mist curling around you like an embrace. You feel her story wrapping around you, not just in visions, but in the air, in the scent of jasmine, in the creak of the planks. You're so close now, close enough to see the faint smile on her lips, fragile but real, like she's starting to believe in you. You ask, "Can you let go now?" Your voice is gentle, and the mist swirls, forming one last vision. You see Hana on the bridge, her kimono bright, her hands empty, but her face calm. She's not alone this time. The man is there, older, his eyes soft with apology. He hands her the pendant, and she takes it, her fingers brushing his. A moment of forgiveness, of release. The vision fades, and you're back with Hana, her eyes brighter now, as if a weight has lifted. She raises her hand not to the river, but to you, and you feel a warmth like a final goodbye, soft and fleeting. The bridge sways, and the mist begins to thin, revealing the cedar trees on the far bank, their branches still in the quiet night. You look at her, and she's fading, her kimono blending with the moonlight, her figure softening into the mist. You want to call out, to keep her here, but you know this is what she needed, to be seen, to be heard, to know her love wasn't lost. You take one last step, and the bridge feels solid now, like it's carried you both to the end of her story. The jasmine scent lingers, but it's lighter, like a memory fading into peace. You stand alone on the bridge, the mist clearing, the river calm below. You feel her absence, but it's not heavy, not anymore. You look at your hand, and for a moment, you think you see the faint outline of the jade pendant, but it's gone, just a trick of the light. The night is quiet, and you know she's free, her story complete, carried forward by you. You take a deep breath, the air cool and clean, and you feel a sense of peace, like you've given her what she waited for all those years. Some stories stay with us long after the words fade. Let this one rest beside you, sleep deeply, and if it returns in your dreams, perhaps it was never truly gone.